Hey everyone, Matthew here, MMA Uncensored. We are back. We've got a special guest for you today. Can you guess who it is? All right. So it is Artem Lobov. He is going to be on here in a couple of seconds. He's actually already online. And that's right, the GOAT from MMA. Let's hear what he's got to say today. How you doing? Can you hear us okay?
Hey, what's up, Matthew? Yes, I can hear you good.
Good. Glad to hear it, man. So you're over in Ireland right now, right?
Yep, over in Dublin.
How's the weather out there?
Actually, today is beautiful. We don't really get a lot of sun over here, but today is surprisingly nice. So we've been outside most of the day with my kids. So yeah, it's nice to get a bit of sun.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, so what kind of weather you normally get?
Normally it's like raining here. It's very gray. It doesn't really. You don't get too many extremes. It doesn't get very hot, but it also doesn't really get very cold. There is very rarely any snow here, but it does get cold. It's like it would be, let's say, 0 degrees Celsius. I'm talking now, but it feels like -10 sometimes because of the wind. And, because we're a little island. We have the Atlantic on one side. The Irish Sea on the other. So yeah, it does get pretty cold.
Oh man, I can imagine.
Yep.
So you got a fight coming up.
Oh yes, I have a fight coming up in the Bareknuckle boxing in Ukraine. There's a new promotion there called Mahatch, which means basically like a wild fight in translation from Russian. It's a new promotion, but they've been doing things right. They've invested a lot of money into this and a lot of time and a lot of effort. They want to do it the right way. I'm assisting them on that. And there's no better way to announce yourself to the world than by doing the fight with the face of Bareknuckle.
No, you're absolutely right, man. You have any chances you coming back to the bare knuckle fighting championship here?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, down the line, that's a possibility. Um, you know, uh, Obviously, I've had 3 fights with the BKFC, and I've done a lot of good for the promotion and got paid well as well. So we had a good relationship there. It's something that we can revisit down the line. Nothing in the pipeline as of yet. Of course, I've got my fight in Mahatch that I'm getting ready for, but after that, anything is possible.
Awesome, man. So how's your camp going? I know with this whole pandemic coronavirus thing, is it affecting your training?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a little bit hard to train because in Ireland we have a lockdown. Everything is pretty much closed. But now it's been a year, so I've kind of gotten used to it, and you figure your ways, how to train and where to go and what to do, and so kind of getting used to it slowly. It has its challenges, of course, but as always, I'm going to be ready, and it's going to be a great fight.
Nice, man. So how you feel?
Yeah, feel good. I had surgery in December. I had a meniscus tear, and my knee kept locking. I wouldn't have even probably gotten it done, but my knee kept locking up, and it's quite painful as well when it locks. Then when you kind of unlock it, it's back to normal again. It's a really weird injury. I was training with it as I was supposed to be fighting MMA. It was a little bit hard to train, but I was getting it done. As you know, I've never pulled out in my life and never plan on doing so. So pull out was not an option. But then the fight got canceled. The whole show got canceled because of COVID. So I quickly just got the surgery done, and I've been recovering since. I feel back to my 100% now and ready to go.
Nice. You look good, man. That's good.
Thank you.
That's good. So what are your plans for this fight? I mean, I know every fighter's like, I want to win, but you have any expectations? Coming off of a loss here in bare knuckle, how do you feel?
Yeah, I feel good. It's a big fight for me again. Of course, I don't do easy fights. I always fight the best guys out there, and this is no different. This guy, Denis Berinchik, he's from Lomachenko's team. He's Olympic silver medalist, 16-0 as a pro. He's got a couple of titles to his name, So yeah, it's a big challenge. And on top of that, this is going to be my lowest weight yet. This fight is at 64 kilos, which is around 140 pounds, plus or minus. Don't know exactly what it is in pounds, but around that. And I wanted to drop down to that weight for a number of reasons. It opens up more opportunities for me, and also if you look at boxing, right now this is the kind of weight class where a lot of things are happening. You've got Ryan Garcia, you've got Gervonta Davis, and a few other guys, that are in and around that weight. And I've been trying to get a boxing fight for a long time. So I feel that I've already beaten one two-time world champion, in Poli Malignaggi, and if I get a win over this guy, there's no reason why the boxers should deny me. There's going to be no denying me, after that. If I'm able to put away these boxers, high level boxers with bare knuckles, they're trying to tell me that I should be afraid of fighting them with pillows on my hands, and I just don't think that that's the way. So after I beat this guy, my plan is to move into pro boxing.
Nice. I was just going to ask you. So boxing's where you want to be.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm hoping to fight across all disciplines, but boxing has been the one that I was not able to get a fight in yet. A big fight, that is. I've had some shitty little offers, but they don't really make sense to me at the point of the career that I'm at. So I would like a big fight, and I would like to try myself in the boxing ring, definitely. So it's something I will be pushing for very hard. I was planning on doing it last year, but with the corona, everything just went to shit, and uh, I couldn't get any fight. But now things are starting to look up. People, the vaccine is out there. People are getting vaccinated pretty quickly. So hopefully the world returns to normal, and you'll see me in the boxing ring then.
Nice, nice. So, how did you feel coming off that win with Paulie? Being such a big name in boxing.
Yeah, I felt good. It was no surprise to me. I in preparation for that fight, not actually for that fight exactly, but even the previous fight, with Jason Knight, I was doing a lot of sparring with very high level boxers. In Ireland, we have a lot of really, really good boxers. For the poly camp, I didn't really get to do sparring until the very, very last week of my camp, just because my hands were so damaged after the Jason Knight fight that I could barely hit pads even, So I was just kind of doing shadow boxing with some weights on my around my wrist. That was pretty much my camp. And of course, I was doing all the cardio stuff and other physical work. But in terms of actual like pad work or sparring, I could only do it at the very, very last week of my camp. But yeah, it was no surprise to me that I got the win. I knew I was well prepared. I knew I was physically stronger. I already had, even though only one fight, but still I had experience. Bareknuckle knew what it was about. Yeah, so it went the way I expected it to win, to go. And as I mentioned, I was hoping to get some boxing, fights on the back of that, but it didn't happen. For a number of reasons. Corona being one of the main ones, of course. But now I beat this boxer, and I'll be in that boxing ring, definitely.
Nice, nice. Can't wait to see you, man. Can't wait to see you out there.
Thank you.
So, you know, let's say you did come back over to bare knuckle. I mean, who would you want to see? Anybody at what weight class?
I mean, I fight any weight class really, and that's the reason I'm dropping now to 64 kilos. This will open up more possibilities for me, more opportunities. But I mean, in terms of who to fight in BKFC, I mean, anyone really. I mean, it will come down to the offer. It will come down to money. At the point of my career now, money is the motivator for me. I've got a kid, I've got a family that I have to feed. So, there was time when I would fight and did fight everyone and anyone, across Europe. I was flying to the people's backyards, for 500 euros, 600 euros. So I have nothing to prove left in that sense. Now it's about making money. So if the offer is right, I'm ready to fight. They said, of course, potentially fight maybe Baboon. That guy looks like a very, very tough fight. And definitely would be interesting for me. But again, once the offer is right, I'm ready to fight whoever.
So, you mentioned Baboon. He's actually over here calling out Thiago Alves. What if you had a possibility in that fight? Would you jump on a plane and head over and say, I'm down?
Absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. This guy is tough as nails. This is a hard, hard fight. I mean, look at his fight against Justin Gaethje. That was a hell of a fight. It's that guy. Could bring it to anybody. He's world class. There's no doubt about that. And they have a legit champion on their hands. I feel that in Big AFC, he is the one of the guys that truly stands out. But they need to market him. They need to invest. They need to get him big fights. And I feel that I am that fight exactly. But there has been no offers made, so I'm fighting elsewhere for now. But down the line we'll see. Why not?
So let's talk about your opponent now, the one that you're about to go fight.
Mm.
What are some of your thoughts on his training, on what he's doing?
Yeah, Dennis Berinchik, his name is. I mean, he's a very experienced boxer. He's got the resume. That's world class. There's no question about that. I call him Dennis the Menace. Because he's only a small guy. That's going to be my biggest challenges. Not to step on this guy accidentally.
Oh man,
and get my ass disqualified. It's not something I want to happen. But yeah, I think I can avoid that. I'm preparing. I'm using my kid now as a training partner. They're about the same size.
Oh man.
So I'll be ready come fight time.
Okay, that's funny, man. So you're very confident in this.
Absolutely. I've got the size advantage over this guy. I have the experience over this guy. I'm physically stronger. For the first time probably in my life, I have longer reach than the opponent I'm fighting. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see which way this guy beats me. He's doesn't really have that much power. He's more about like kind of volume. And that's the way he's been stopping guys. But you know, there's no way this guy does anything to me. And I mean, Bareknuckle, of course, is a good format for smaller guys that it allows them to at least do somewhat of a damage. Like when you're watching little guys in the boxing gloves, that's why it's not very popular among the fans. I mean, I can appreciate and watch that for the technique and the skill that they possess because they're quite technical, smaller guys. But for just your average Joe, watching small guys in boxing gloves is not interesting. Whereas Bareknuckle changes all that because there's cuts, there's without the gloves on, even if though there's no knockout power, he's still able to do some damage. And that's good for me because I like to be an exciting fight. I want it to be interesting. And it just happens to be that in order to make it really interesting, you not only have to give a few, you also have to take a couple. So I look forward to that, but I have no doubt that I'm going to put this guy away.
Nice. So you're prepared for Warrior. You're saying, I'll take some, but this is my fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, he seems like a guy that, he's got heart, he's a tough guy. But he just doesn't have enough pop, doesn't have enough power, doesn't have enough size to worry me, So he's going to be fighting an uphill battle here, um, uh, you know. But yeah, I look forward to a good challenge and a good fight.
Okay. So who are some of your training partners right now? Your hands okay this time?
Yeah, my hands are good now. Obviously, I've had so much time off. I haven't started sparring just yet. To be honest, I'm kind of ramping up my cardio and all that because after the surgery, obviously, I got a little bit out of shape. So this is my plan now for the next couple of weeks. Get back to 100% cardio again, and then I'll start sparring. Then I've been in touch with John Evan already. He's an Irish Olympic silver medalist. He's also an undefeated pro. He's, I think, 17-0, 15-0 at the time. Right now, sorry. Very, very experienced guy, very, very high level. I mean, world class, training partner. He is a lot taller than Berinchik, but just even moving around with this guy, seeing the all the different movements that he does, all the different punches that he throws. It's very, very good experience for me, and then getting some pointers from him. So he's one of the guys that I already have been in contact with. But when it comes closer to the time, I will sure do the right thing and find the toughest sparring partners I can find. This is one of the things that I know the importance of. It's so important to have very, very high level training partners. It has to be hard in the camp. If you're just walking through guys that you're sparring, you're doing something wrong. If you, well, unless you're a world champion already. If you're a world champion and you're doing that, well, then you're just the best in the world. But if you're not a world champion and the guys you're sparring aren't challenging you, you're doing something wrong. And that's not something I ever did. So yeah, I will no doubt have some very, very tough sparring partners.
Nice. And this fight's over in the Ukraine, right?
Yes, it's over in Ukraine, in Kiev, the capital of Ukraine.
Okay. Yeah. Eh, so when it comes to your training, I mean, compare yourself to some of these guys out there nowadays. I mean, you're good friends with Connor. Are you training with him out there?
No, not at the moment. Just with everything, with the lockdown and all, it's been hard to kind of to kind of do that. And also he had the fight. Obviously, he was taking some time off after that. I had my surgery, so no, I didn't get to train with Connor the past couple of months. But yeah, down the line, I mean, probably, I know that chances are he's going to be getting ready for Dustin. I'm not sure if that's signed yet, but from what I see in the news, it's close to getting signed. So we will be in camp, simultaneously. And yeah, I have no doubt we'll definitely get some training in. It's always been a great training for me and Connor. Anytime we train together, we get to the next level. So definitely, yeah, something that we will definitely do.
Okay. How do you feel about his fight coming up? I know you and him being so close, and this being such a big fight for him.
Yeah, it's, to be honest, there's only just a few adjustments needed to be made, but of course, on that level, it's tiny little mistake, can cost you the fight, and that's exactly what happened. But I know Connor. He's a guy that works very hard. He's a very smart fighter. His fight IQ is extremely high. I'm sure he analyzed every single thing that happened in that fight multiple times, and along with the coaches, John Kavanagh, Sergey, Roddy, they're gonna come up with a plan and adjust all the mistakes to everything that needs to happen for the win, and I have no doubt he's going to get the win. Conor never loses a rematch. Anytime he had a little setback, when he came back, he fixed every single mistake and looked better than ever. So I have no doubt the same thing is going to happen this time.
Nice. How'd you meet that guy?
I can't really remember exactly at this stage, but it was just in the gym. We're training together. Back many years ago. He was just one of the fighters. He wasn't Conor McGregor yet back then. And yeah, we would just be training the same gym, and he loved to spar, and so did I, and that's how we bonded, I guess.
Cool. Nice. Did you ever look at him one day and say, I could take that guy, man? No, I'm just.
I'm sure I looked and thought that, but we sparred on a regular basis, so I had my chance to try and put that to the test, and yeah, I tell you what, it ain't easy. It ain't easy being in there with a guy like Connor.
Yeah. No. Yeah, no, I had to ask though, man, because I've seen in the media, you guys are really close, and that's why I asked about the training. So,
Yeah.
well, that's good, man. I'm glad you're still continuing, proactively in your career, man. At this point in your career, you're saying boxing is the next level. I mean, once you get into boxing, are you not going to come back to bare knuckle? That was actually a fan question too, by the way.
No, no, of course, I will fight across all those disciplines. I absolutely love them. I love MMA. This is my bread and butter. I love bare knuckle. I just love the format. I feel that other sports should kind of look at it and maybe take some of the things, like for example the rounds. Like there's no need to make fights that long. It just ends up being boring. There's less action, and it's worse for brain damage. It's if you're fighting for 36 minutes like they do in boxing, there's in the later rounds, dehydration sets in, which makes your brain even less protected, and results in some very, very severe injuries. If you ever look at the boxing, at the deaths that happen in boxing, whenever a person dies, it's always because of the later rounds. It doesn't really happen, in a 6 round fight. It always happens, around 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So of course you're going to need to adjust maybe the rules. You have to also select the guys for your shows more carefully. You want guys that are going to engage and are going to fight. But I feel that should happen, down the line. It's going to mean that fights are more exciting, and it's going to mean that people get less damage and brain damage. So why not? I feel that that's what needs to happen in boxing. Yeah, and maybe even in MMA. I'm not sure. I'm a big fan of this 5-5s. It doesn't really add much action. I mean, sometimes you get guys like Max Holloway, and they'll go all 5 rounds, and it's crazy exciting and good. But for the most part, it doesn't add excitement. If anything, it reduces it definitely.
Oh yeah, I mean, after the first couple of rounds, I mean, you're already wore out,
Yeah,
especially.
not only that, it's just even the first couple of rounds, that you've got a long, long way to go. So you're preserving your energy. You're not going out there, you know what I mean, and showing your true potential. And then sometimes you're trying to hold back, but you still get a bit tired, a bit fatigued. So then down in the later rounds, you are not even able to show your full potential because you're a bit tired. So I think make the rounds shorter, or less rounds, and then that's it. Just make sure that it's all about action. Make sure that guys are pushing. Make sure that guys are coming forward. Make sure that guys are fighting. And yeah, I think that would be a good thing.
Okay, so we actually had another fan question, if you don't mind, man.
Sure.
Somebody wanted to know who would be your ideal fight. So if you were going to fight anyone, and in any MMA, bare knuckle, anything.
Man, there's just so many good guys out there that I would love to fight. I love fighting the best guys. It's just even preparation, is exciting. Then like some, you just because after you've been doing it for so long, you've been training so much. Some nice, you're just a bit like lacking motivation sometimes. But when you have a really, really tough opponent, man, there's nothing better. You run to the gym. You want to be there. You want to spar. You want to go hard. You want to push yourself to that next level. So to me, anybody that's good, any of the top 10 guys, I love fighting them. Someone like Max Holloway, what a guy to fight, like incredible, guy to fight. There's so many guys, out there to fight. I mean, Dustin Poirier. I mean, he's a great fight. Loads and loads of good fights. Ryan Garcia in boxing, I'd love to fight him. Someone like Manny Pacquiao, I mean, that would be incredible as well. So many good fights. Like there is some really, really good fighters out there that I would love to fight.
Okay. So when it comes to different types of you know boxing, MMA, bare knuckle, now that you've done, you're a pro athlete at these things. Which one is your all time favorite?
I can't tell you one is the favorite in terms of like the sport, because I like different things about different sports. Like for example, MMA. I love the fact that everything is involved. To me, it's like a weird when you say, "Oh yeah, we'll fight, but hey, don't kick me, or we'll fight, boy, don't wrestle me, or don't do this. So I like MMA that is just a full fight. We go in, well, let's fight, and that's it. Let's find out who is the best fighter. I love MMA for that. I love bare knuckle for excitement, and also it's very close to what happens in a street. It's very close to a street fight. Street fights never go on for 36 minutes. Street fight, you get in, boom, 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 2 minute job, and that's it. Then you go on your way. Also, I love the fact that the rounds are short like this, and in bare knuckle, as I spoke, in terms of brain damage and all that. It of course reduces it significantly. So I love bare knuckle for that, the excitement element, because of the shorter rounds. Boxing, of course, the sweet science. There's a lot of beautiful things about boxing, of course, as well. It's very different to a street fight, very different to bare knuckle fight, but it's beautiful. The movements are beautiful. The techniques are so complex as well. There's a lot to it. So I love all of them. I love K1 as well. I love kickboxing. It's beautiful sport as well. Muay Thai. I love all the real sports. The real combat sports. None of this like Aikido and all that bullshit. But the real ones, I love them all.
Okay. Any after this fight now that you have coming up? When's the date on that fight? Has the date been set yet?
Yeah, so the date, there hasn't been a 100% date set yet. It's looking like 19th of June at the moment, but it's going to be in around that, plus or minus 1 week. It's just getting everything into place now. Again, it's all because of this corona. Ukraine just went on lockdown there again also. So those are the things that have prevented it from announcing the exact date, but it's going to be around June anyway. It's going to be sometime in June.
All right, I'm actually going to pop up the fight banner real quick. If you want to, looking kind of serious there, man. So tell us about this. Tell us about how you got into this promotion.
Yeah, so Mahatch, they've contacted me and asked me to advise them on that. They said that, look, they've seen the success of bare knuckle. They see how popular the sport is, and this is something they would love to get involved with, and they want to do it right. So they felt that what a better man to ask than myself. I've been part of the greatest bare knuckle fight in modern bare knuckle history. Myself and Jason Knight. So yeah, they contacted me and asked me to advise them basically and tell them how to do things right. Things to watch out for, what needs to be done. And that's exactly what I was doing. I made sure that all the fighters have insurance. All the blood tests are done. Because some people don't know this, but some of these promotions, bare knuckle promotions that are currently operating in Russia, they weren't even doing blood tests. When I found out that, I was like, what? How can you not do a blood test in a sport like bare knuckle? That's stupid. I mean, young guys are doing it, and some of them could easily contract something like Hep B, and then that's it. Your future career is ruined. You can never fight in US. With something like that, and you can never be cured from it completely. It will always kind of stay with you. So to me, that was just crazy. So we made sure that at Mahatch, all those things were taken care of. Everything was done correctly. And as you can see, they have a great promotion now. The fights look unbelievable, very exciting. Everything from production to, as I mentioned, the medicals, the insurances, and all that is 100%. And yeah, it's been a pleasure working with them. I love working with promoters that put fighters first, that care about the fighters, and then everything else comes after that, which is a rare thing, in our sport. Most promoters wanna see the money in the bank, and they don't really care about the rest of it. This is not the case with Mahatch.
Nice. So you're like paving the way for these guys. Do you see yourself staying in the promotion for a while?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, why not? I paved the way for BKFC. I mean, I launched that promotion. I bet you've never heard of them until BKFC 5, when myself and Jason put on that show for the fight fans, and it blew up all over the world. It was the most talked about fight. And then followed by my fight with Paulie Malignaggi, which was the most talked event of the summer that year, So there's no doubt that I launched that promotion, helped launch that promotion. And why shouldn't I do that for Mahatch?
Nice. No, that's good, man. And someone like yourself, who's been in as many positions as you have, and come out on top, and your name is just well renowned in the fight world. So it's actually a pleasure talking to you. I appreciate you being on the show. Any shout outs you want to do? Coaches, fans, sponsors?
Of course, always a shout out to my team, SBG and all the coaches there. I love them to bits, and I'm very, very thankful for everything that they've done for me. Um, yeah, and of course, my sponsor, Party Match. These guys have had my back, throughout everything. They truly support me in all ways, and I couldn't be more thankful. I hope that one day I get to pay them back.
Nice. All right, so real fast though, before we get off here, what is one thing you want to tell this opponent besides that you don't want to step on him?
Just get ready, buddy, because you're in for a big shock. People think, street fight or whatever. He's been saying that he's been in many street fights and this and that. Trust me, man, street fight is not the same as Bareknuckle. He's in for a big shock. This is not Olympic Games. This is not his street fights. This is not his pro career in boxing. This is its own animal, and I'm the king of that jungle. So get ready to be shocked, my man.
Nice, king of the jungle. Listen, Artem, I appreciate you being on the show, man, and good luck
Okay.
in your fight. I tell everyone, let's get you back on here for a post fight. We did our pre fight, and then we'll get you in here again.
Yep, sounds good to me.
All right, listen, you have a good day, man. Keep training good out there. Thank you
Perfect.
for
Thank
being
you very
on.
much, Matthew. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right, you've heard it. Artem Lobo says, be prepared. He is ready. He's training hard, about to fight in the Ukraine, paving the way for this promotion. Got to give it up to guys like that. So, Matthew here. Listen, follow us on YouTube. Follow the show. Follow more. If you want to see more, drop questions. Let us know. Who do you want to see on here? What do you want us to ask them? Let us know, guys. MMA Uncensored out.